Okay, in this video I'm just going to kind of create a portrait, basically. Someone asked me if I could do a portrait, so I decided to do that. It might take me a while. I don't know how much of it that I'll be able to get done in this video, but I'll see how it goes. I may have to stop the video if it gets too long, but basically I looked for an interesting portrait. I didn't want to do like a normal portrait where it's just like a standard face looking at you. But basically I found this online. I think it's like a singer, Hayley Williams or something like that. But it's a little different, and so that'll probably make it a little bit more interesting, at least for me to do, you know, instead of just a standard portrait, because I don't know. Usually, you know, you always notice people's faces, and so you tend to see a lot of them. But I'll do something different. She has her hand kind of covering the side of her face, and so I don't know what you'll get out of this video because it's not a general portrait. So I mean, it's not like a regular portrait, so it's not like a video that's teaching you how to create portraits, but I suppose you could watch the process of me just kind of create an image and kind of you know, learn things. Basically what I'm going to do first is just kind of get a neutral background so it's not that bright white, and I'll use a separate layer. I don't have to, but I guess I'm just I have the habit just creating multiple layers for various things. So you can do that or not if you don't want to. But anyways, I guess there's a lot of ways you can start this. There's a lot of ways you can draw it or color it or whatever you're doing. I'm just doing this in basically pixel art style. I guess the first thing that I'll probably try to figure out is the proportions of general objects, or yeah, basically just finding proportions on the shapes of things, because that'll help me down the line when I start adding smaller details. But basically I want to try and get certain shapes accurately, and right now I'm just kind of looking at the hoodie. So yeah, I don't know how big I'm gonna make this. I guess however big it becomes. I don't want to make it too big, but I don't know. It would be kind of hard to do a portrait at a small scale because it'd be hard to kind of fit in all the smaller details of like the eyes and the nose and things like that. So I'll just kind of go with the flow of things and see what size it comes out to be. Sometimes I like to kind of just draw in certain details that might help me measure things. Like I could tell right here, like this thickness of the hoodie is kind of similar to the thickness of this space between the hair and the hoodie, this kind of dark area. So I kind of just draw those just to see, you know, just to kind of measure it, get like a unit of measurement, and then I could use that to kind of measure other things. It doesn't necessarily have to be the things that I'm drawing. It could be anything that you notice, basically, if that makes sense. But okay, so we have this darker shade space, anyways, and then we have like the hair, and it kind of curves around, comes forward, and then the chin somewhere around here. The chin, actually the hoodie kind of probably a bit more curved. The chin, where's the chin? Somewhere around here. What I'm doing, I'm just kind of marking certain areas. Okay, and you can kind of trace angles, like where the top of the zipper meets the hood. It's like right at this point. And then if I trace a line up here, kind of imagining a line, I can kind of feel what angle this is at. What I'm actually doing, I'm doing over here at this I'm imagining an angle here, a line that goes from here to the chin. I'm kind of seeing what the angle is that gets the corner of the chin here, and then I'm kind of imagining it over here as well. And so I think the line kind of goes up here, so the chin ends right there. Okay, now from that I can kind of trace back a bit and kind of, you know, follow this curve of the chin here and do the same thing over here, and that'll give us kind of a good representation of the shape and proportion of the chin in relation to the location of the hoodie and zipper. And zipper just kind of goes down, and if we trace the line up here, kind of following the zipper, we can see where along the chin it kind of aligns itself with. So it's like right here, kind of midway between the bottom of the chin and where the fingers are located. Maybe it's more closer to the fingers. So we can kind of do the same thing over here, and kind of the fingers should kind of be around here somewhere. You know, I'm just kind of estimating things based on whatever I can see, whatever I notice is the case. And if I notice something different that forces me to kind of change my opinion as to where things are, then I can just fix it. Okay, so the finger goes up here, and kind of, I guess the hand, we have like a finger going this way as well. The hand kind of goes up and across the hoodie. Yeah, I think that's kind of accurate. It's a bit cramped in this area. There's like another finger that's kind of hidden behind this finger. Okay. It's kind of hard to see what that finger is doing. Anyways, okay, I should probably, now the hair is kind of in shadow around here, and then the hair kind of comes out. There's kind of dark area around here. I'm just using black at the moment. I could probably start using other colors just to kind of help me mark, you know, what's what, help me see how to separate things, I guess you could say. It's kind of a lighter area there, I think. I think the hair kind of pokes out a bit there. Right at the moment, it doesn't really look like much, but it will as I add more details and things like that. So anyways, should I start adding color? Nah, I'll just keep going with the black for now. I kind of want to try and work on, again, some of the proportions marked out. So let's see, we got the hand here, we have the eye. I'll probably have to erase some of the lines because they're kind of dark, because I'm just using black, and you know, there might not be that much black in the areas that I'm drawing. It's dark here, so I'll just make that darker. Okay, and then the thumb kind of goes around there. I may have to fix that. Okay, let's check this. There's a line. The angle of this finger kind of goes up with the thumb. As you can see, it kind of goes like that. So if we do the same thing over here, we'll get a better idea where the end of the thumb should be. Okay, and let's see. It's a bit difficult with just pixels. Okay, should this be higher? I think that should be higher there. Okay, so it does something like that. Looks about right. And then we have the hair. Kind of going around there. You know what, I'm going to start using some color just to help me with the hair, because the hair I want to make sure I know where the hair is. Just use that color, I guess. Okay. I think this is where it is. I need I should probably make some more measurements just to be sure. But I'm just kind of roughing it in, getting the general size of it, and then I'll edit it if I need to edit it. So we have that. Looks about right. The hair kind of goes down this way. If we look here at the bottom of the hair, and we just trace up vertically, we can see where it ends horizontally on the chin, basically in the center of it, kind of. So we check where the chin is right here, and then we just trace down, and so it should end around there. And then there's other hairs here as well. Kind of get the feel of the angle. Ooh, I think I drew on the image. Okay, so the feel of the angle there, just kind of trace it with your eye, and then kind of do the same thing over here at the same angle. Okay, so yeah. I think this side of her face is more vertical, as you can see, like there. And it's kind of shadowed. Shadowed? Is that a word? Anyways, kind of, the hair kind of goes out that way. And then I guess the top of her cheek, bone area, kind of curves in like that, I think. Okay. It's kind of some shadowed areas around here, so I'm just gonna mark those. The hoodie on this side kind of curves like that, and the top of the zippers are basically about the same. The right side is kind of higher than the other side. Vertically, can trace it, basically aligns with the cheek, although it's slightly to the left, I think. It's about the same, but slightly to the left, I think. So we kind of trace down here, and The zipper should be around here, I think. Something like that. Kind of curves around like that, I think. Although the peak of the curve is kind of higher than the peak of the curve on the other side, so we kind of have to adjust that a bit. So it should be something like that, I think. And it kind of goes up there. We don't really see the hoodie. Oh yeah, we do. Okay, the hoodie's actually there. Kind of blends into the background, but it's there just slightly. Okay. So as you can see, we're kind of getting more of the shape. I think I just noticed something. Okay, if you take this measurement from the knuckle to the wrist, or base of the hand basically, if we measure this angle here, the distance, and then we kind of duplicate that distance at the same angle over here, we notice that it's shorter from the knuckle to the jaw side of the face, cheek area. So this distance is bigger than this distance here. Yeah. If we do the same over here, these feel about the same, don't they? So I'm thinking this jaw needs to, I don't know what. Maybe this hand needs to be bigger. Just slightly. Does that look better? I think so. Anyways, okay, so let's use kind of a skin tone for the face before we start doing any details on the face. I'm going to try and get a similar color to her face. I guess that color is probably alright. Let's try that. Okay, it might be a little bit more desaturated. Yeah. And then some parts will be kind of darker. Maybe slightly more darker. Like that. Maybe that's too dark, but that's alright. And then we can just kind of start doing some details. I don't want to use black for some of the details because they're not obviously black, but they're darker. So again, like these, I don't know what they're called, wrinkles, I guess. So we got the nostril and the nose. Nose will look a bit small, so it's going to be hard to kind of fit that. The eye appears kind of in shadows. Okay. Oh, why is it doing that? Oops. Okay. Let's get another darker shade just so that we can kind of get some values going. Is that dark enough? I think it needs to be darker. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. All right. Okay, the nostrils below the knuckle. And it's like right directly below this nail of the thumb. Okay, and so the lip is kind of across from the tip of the finger. It's a little lower than the finger, but not by much. Okay, what else? I guess the darkness inside the mouth, I guess. And underneath the tongue slightly. Tongue is doing something weird, I don't know. I guess that's alright. Okay. Does that look alright? Yeah. Oh yeah, it needs some shadow underneath the lip, I think. Maybe not. Does that look alright? Nah, I think that's just confuses it. Oops. Okay. Okay, what's next? Okay, so work on the eye a little bit. It has kind of like a wrinkle there or something. Like you're squinting, basically. Okay, I need like a darker shade, so I'll just do something like that. Kind of make it a little purpley. That way I could probably use it on the lips as well, I think. Basically, I'm just shading it. Not sure what to say, but you can see what I'm doing. Basically, just making it look like the image. Yeah. Trying to figure where things align horizontally, vertically, at angles from other details. And if I notice anything is off, then I fix it. I don't consider something accurate. I'm always checking the accuracy of the details that I create. I may never notice a certain relationship between one detail and another, but I keep a lookout for them just so that when I do, I could kind of adjust things so that things look better. And the more you exercise that process, the better you get at it. So if you're new at drawing, or you haven't exercised those types of observations, you just have to do it more often and you'll get better at it. Sometimes it requires a bit of patience, just so things sink in to your senses. If you're not used to doing that, you might become overwhelmed by all the details, and you might not be sure what to look at and what not to look at. That takes some skill that you can develop, so that you can know what not to look at. Because, you know, things like a face, we're programmed to like notice certain details about the face, so we could like recognize it from one person to another person, right? We like kind of pick up the most important details, but the most important details may not be the most pertinent details that we need to look at while drawing. And so you got to train yourself to kind of look at other details that aren't as important, I guess you could say, if you want to draw it accurately, because all details in the image are pretty important for kind of conveying the kind of blueprint to recognize it as a certain person. I kind of use a lighter color there just to kind of, I guess, bring out the nose a bit, the shape of it anyways. I tend to think that the noses are pretty important aspects of portraits because they're like directly in the center of the face, usually. And it's like you can't really avoid looking at them, at the nose. It's kind of important to get it to look accurately. I think you can see just a slight bit of the nostril on that side. It's also kind of darker right there. Kind of curves in a bit. You can kind of take liberties with certain things just to kind of accentuate certain details a bit, just so that it kind of looks more like a nose or things like that. It's kind of dark around that area. I just kind of want to make sure things kind of have a bit of depth to them, so I want to push the values enough to kind of give that sense. That's pretty good, I think. It's also darker here as well, towards the corner of the eye, isn't it? It's kind of hard to see what's going on in there. Sometimes it doesn't really matter what's going on, you just kind of draw what you see, basically. Top of this finger, this edge right here doesn't there's not much black right here, so you know, just gotta lighten up that area a bit. There's still details there, but just gotta make them lighter. Something like that's probably alright. Seems alright, I think. It's a bit weird with the corner there, it's kind of sharp. Just gotta soften it a bit. Okay, so looks pretty good. It's gonna take a while. Probably have to split this video up. That's alright. Okay, so actually it's a bit darker all the way over here. So, you know, just as you just keep noticing things, keep editing things, and it gets more and more accurate, basically. It's kind of dark. The hair kind of gets dark over here. Maybe I should wonder. No, I'm gonna need another shade for the hair, something like that, I guess. Yeah. I guess I could start adding detail to the hair now, since I have another value for it. Okay, it kind of goes in that direction. It's not important to draw every single strand of hair, but just so that you kind of get the idea of the direction of the strands of hair. I think that's basically enough to convey it, I guess. Okay, it's kind of dark up here. I guess because the hair is angled away from us, it doesn't reflect as much light into our eyes. Kind of soft over there a bit. A bit tricky. Guess I shouldn't use too much black there because there's not much black here, as you can see. It's dark, but it's not dark. do something like that. Yeah, that looks good. It's looking better anyways. Okay, zoom out a bit. Yeah. Okay. Basically the process, just kind of repeat the process over and over again. What happened there? Okay. So yeah, it's a lot of repeating the process, and that can kind of get repetitive. Why is that lighter right there? Does it look better with that whiteness there? Maybe just there. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you could do that. Add a little shading there. Yeah, that looks good. This is just gotta mess with it, kind of experiment a bit with the pixels, seeing what looks better or worse. Okay, so I want to use a softer shade just to transition this thing a bit smoothly. Kind of blend it. Yeah. Okay, so anyways, what was I saying? I think I was saying how things are repetitive. Basically, I don't know. The more you do it, the more natural it feels, I guess. And so sometimes you don't really have to think about it as much because you automatically kind of gonna do the same thing over and over again, and usually it doesn't require too much thought. So I'm kind of thinking like what to really talk about. When you see artists do like a lot of photorealistic artwork, realism, that sort of thing, it's like, wow, they spend a lot of time doing that, and sure, you know, that's impressive, but it's like, it doesn't really bring out the artistic qualities of the artist if you just create realistic artwork, because I don't know, what is that? It's just, it doesn't really speak anything interesting, because it is what it is. It's just a realistic portrayal of life, and that's already being said without the artwork, you know? So it's like, what is the artist trying to convey? I don't know. Maybe they're not trying to convey any specific message. And so for me, it's like, realism's kind of cool. It's kind of impressive, but I'm at a stage where I kind of think I'm kind of looking for more than just, you know, what's there. I'm looking for things that aren't there. Yeah. I'm trying to not talk about weird stuff now, because now I'm thinking all sorts of things that aren't there. Like, what's not there? I guess it would be hard to say, since it's not there. It's a good question, though. What isn't there? Maybe what's not there is not been created yet. So maybe I'm looking for things that I haven't done yet. I guess people always do that, because people do things. You gotta be looking for something to do in order to do something, I guess, right? I don't know what I'm talking about. This is what happens when doing the same thing over and over again. It's like my mind starts trying to think of ways to make it different when it can't be different. You know, it's like the only way to make it different is to make me think that it's different by believing in weird things like that I'm talking about. And I guess that makes the process more interesting. For me, anyways. I don't know if it makes it interesting for you, but I kind of doubt it makes it more interesting for other people. They're just like, this guy's weird. What's he talking about? I don't understand what he's saying. Why don't you just focus on drawing? That's what I'm doing. I'm drawing. Now I feel like I'm talking to myself. I guess when you're not looking at the image as much and kind of involved with the image, because it's all repetitive processes, you start talking to yourself, you start looking at yourself, at what you're doing, because you keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's easier to kind of start observing what you're doing. You're like, why are you doing the same thing over and over again? So that's what I need to do to draw this. See, like, I don't even remember what I just did, like, a few moments ago. It's all become a program inside my mind. I think I need to fix this. I think I wasn't paying attention while I was doing this part. This looks a bit off. Okay, so let's see what's next. Can I use the hair color? Yeah, that works. I think it's a bit darker underneath the kind of finger here, the knuckle area. It's kind of like some reflective light going on right there, I think. Just slightly, basically. Just kind of wrinkles too. Just kind of push the values a bit there. Is that right? I guess that looks right. I think this finger is slightly darker over here for some reason. I think it's being blocked by this thumb. Trying to get the depth, the form of the thumb. It's a bit tricky. There's not much black up on top of the hand, is there? Yeah, I guess that looks alright. It's alright, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of weird, I guess, but I don't know. I guess that's the way it looks. Probably because it's like at a weird angle. I guess I'll just leave that for now. It's kind of a bit darker. Oh, it's really dark there, I think. Yeah. Basically gets dark up there, kind of around that area. There as well, I think. It's pretty good, I guess. Maybe it doesn't get that dark. There we go. Okay. pretty good, I guess. Yeah, it's looking more like a hand. I could probably push some of the darks further, actually. Like on the knuckle underneath here. And maybe there. Yeah. As you can see, it takes a lot of concentration to do this type of work. This type of, I don't know what you'd call it. Realism, I guess. I guess I can. I may need to stop the video soon since it's getting kind of long. Okay. Chin looks kind of big. Is that right? I don't know. I guess that's alright. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be shadow underneath the lip area. Yeah, like that. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop now, and I'll probably continue it in another video. I'm just kind of getting tired of looking at it. I need something else to do. But anyways, that's a good start for now, I guess.